Hey, it's Tim, University Vinyl. I'm back. My throat is almost back. I've had a horrible cold for about a week now, and it comes and goes. I went to urgent care on Wednesday just to make sure this wasn't some kind of weird sinus infection or whatever, and everything was fine. I've been taking, whether it's Mucinex or I like the Alka-Seltzer cold stuff where you drop the two things in the water. Anyway, I'm almost back to normal. Back from a little short, quick trip to where I'm originally from in Michigan. Saw some family, experienced some life events. Always really something to look forward to. It's the beginning of summer, and I'm still out checking different record shops and looking for possible upgrades or maybe that unique item that is a must have for your collection. More on that unique item in a future video. Stay tuned to my Instagram if you're not kind of paying attention. More on that later. So, yesterday, I'm back at a shop that's newly reopened in a new location here in northern Colorado. It's called Downtown Sounds, and they've really been kind of pulling in some heat. And I just decided to pop in there. I had a little time and happened to be in Greeley, Colorado again. I just talked about this shop on a recent video. Anyway, whenever you find incredibly clean copies of the two albums I'm going to kind of highlight today, you should probably pick them up because these were party records. They were played to the hilt, and usually the covers are incredibly shot, incredibly, showing huge amounts of ring wear. One of the covers I'm going to talk about that's, for whatever reason, is particularly flimsy. Both of these records are from 1981. They are now going to be the keeper copies of my collection. I want to start with 1981 Moving Pictures Rush. I have two copies in my collection currently. I'm going to show you those really quick. This is a later repress. It is master disc, but it's got HW in the dead wax. Those in the know that you want the Robert Ludwig double RL on both sides with master disc. That's the best sounding pressing of this record. I'm going on record and saying it. Those people who love those DMM more recent reissues, talk about it in the comments. I think you need a vintage, clean copy of the master disc US pressing, mastered by Robert Ludwig. You could see, there's problems with this cover. Look at this kind of feathering. And for whatever reason, this is a very thin cover that was issued with this record. I do have another copy, and that is another kind of, worn, somewhat worn. You can see that definitely on the spine. A little bit more so on the back. This is a Presswell pressing, and it does have master disc and RL on both sides. However, I would say this record is probably VG to VG plus at best. By the way, this has the white font on this heavy cardstock inner. This also came in a red font on the heavy cardstock, which is the upgrade copy I'm going to show you momentarily. This is the pressing I found yesterday. Look at how crisp this is compared to the other ones I showed you. Very, very minimal wear on that spine. Hardly any signs of ring wear. A very nice, complete, dare I say, VG Plus to near mint cover. Now, when we talk about this record, and there's the red font inner, by the way, this thing is an outright classic. And, I grew up in this time period, 1981. It's right in my wheelhouse. I have heard Red Barchetta, Limelight, Tom Sawyer so many times on classic rock radio that it's getting to the point where it's almost better to start with side two these days, for me anyway, personally, just because of my experience of listening to these songs so much. And the song that leads off side two, The Camera Eye, is a very special Rush song. If you look at their history, where they were in 1981 when Moving Pictures was released, interestingly enough, The Camera Eye clocks in at almost 11 minutes long. It's really kind of looking back to those really proggy records, Rush's kind of earlier period. And, this started with Permanent Waves and moved into Moving Pictures and then really became something different on Signals. And what that is that Rush was moving into kind of the next stage. But there are still remnants, especially on The Camera Eye, where the instrumental virtuosity of the three players is so omnipresent. And, it's not a concise song like, let's say, Limelight is a fantastic confection to me. It's, it clocks in at, 4 minutes and 4.5 minutes maybe. Maybe it's 4:48. I don't have the track durations on the cover, and I'm not going to dig out. Oh, let's dig it out. I want you to see how clean this is. This thing is the cleanest pressing of Moving Pictures I've ever owned, and that's why it's from now my forever copy. The reason that you need a super clean copy of Moving Pictures is definitely for The Camera Eye. The Camera Eye is kind of a two-part song. It's based on two cities, New York, and then the second stanza is based on London. The very opening to The Camera Eye, you get that kind of street and traffic noise before that gorgeous synth kicks in. And if you have any surface noise, which I have on both of those other pressings, that's always been an annoyance, then you're not going to fully enjoy this record and fully enjoy that artistic statement that Geddy Lee, Alex Lifeson, and Neil Peart composed for this record. If you don't know it by now, The Camera Eye, I think, could be in the top 3 Rush songs of all time. Come at me. Come at me in the comments. I'm curious to see, what's your top 5? The Camera Eye could be number 1 for me. That's how much I love this song. I've got some notes because I listened to it again last night after I bought this pressing. First of all, the sound quality of this record is amazing. This is one of the best Robert Ludwig cuts that you're going to find. Neil Peart's, the soundstage on this thing is amazing. You get a ping-ponging and different stereo imaging on Neil Peart's drum stanzas, particularly on The Camera Eye. That synth, lines are absolutely amazing. They sound so deep, so full. And, Alex Lifeson finally, where is it? I think it's around the 7, no, it's just after the 9-minute part. Alex Lifeson launches into a laser-focused, gorgeous guitar solo that is just searing. in its effectiveness in that song. Um, that, along with probably one of the best vocal performances that Geddy Lee has ever laid down on tape, and yes, it was tape, I think, in 1981. Singing those opening lines, and he doesn't start, that vocal doesn't start until a full over 3.5 minutes into this almost 11-minute song do we get the first vocal from Geddy. And he is singing with restraint and purpose. And his pitch is absolutely perfect. There's no straining on this song. He is just wide-eyed and telling the story that is being told through the three players and through Neil Peart's lyrics on this song. After the camera eye, we get Witch Hunt and then Vital Signs. So only 3 songs on side 2. And if you're maybe a little fatigued and you want to hear Rush in a new light, and maybe you haven't heard side 2 of Moving Pictures in a while, that's my recommendation for the weekend. Put on side 2. Hopefully you do have a clean copy. And just revel in the incredible musicianship and the great sound quality of this record. It is simply amazing. I've done videos on Robert Ludwig pressings, but man, this thing, after hearing this near mint copy, I am so pleased to have found this. The other 2 copies, I'm going to trade those in and get a little store credit. But yeah, always be on the lookout for a nice, crisp, clean copy of Moving Pictures 1981. Okay, the other record, and this is something that I've never had an original pressing of. I've only had it on CD, which I thought was kind of a thin sounding recording. And then I was gifted the recent Walmart repressing from a longtime viewer. Thank you, Brian. But when I saw this in the new arrivals bin in the shrink with that very nice hype sticker, of course this was coming home with me. I haven't decided yet. Am I going to, what do you think? Should we take the shrink off and just retain the hype and put it in a new sleeve? That's kind of what I'm leaning toward. And you know what? I have seen copies of this, of course, in the wild, and they have just been shattered as far as the cover is concerned. Scratched up to hell. Another near mint on that gorgeous Jet Records imprint. I only listened to side 1 last night, and it was late. And it kind of got me. You Can't Kill Rock and Roll. On an emotional roller coaster of a song. If you know the history, this is almost too much. With the whole story with Randy Rhoads. So there it is, the second solo LP from Ozzy Osbourne, Diary of a Madman. One of his sons is on the cover. I don't think it's the one that was featured in his show. All those episodes. Who eventually got his own show. Was it Jack Osbourne? Anyway, I digress. There is a resplendent Ozzy on the back cover. A little glare here today. I've got like different lights ping-ponging around. Sorry about that, everybody. That's all I have today. If I keep talking, I'm going to lose my voice. I just wanted to say, hey, I'm back. It's been a while since I put a video out. I was incredibly pleased to find both of these records in near mint condition from 1981. Always be on the lookout for upgrade opportunities. Take care, and maybe I'll be back tomorrow.